Animal rights activists are raising their alarm over the thousands of stray dogs roaming the streets of Moscow. And as Charlotte Lomas-Farley has been finding out, abandoned and sick animals may get into even more trouble if taken to a shelter. And just a word of warning, her report contains images which are upsetting.
A rare view inside one of Moscow's so-called animal shelters, filmed in secret as media and even members of the public are banned from entering. And immediately it's clear why. These are dogs on death row, kept in cramped cages with little food or water and where disease is rife. Some still have the energy to bark, others have long given up. In this cell, a dog lies in the last grips of life among his already dead inmates. A distressing picture. But for the owners of this shelter is an apparent money-maker. Campaigners say they're getting about $200 a month for each dog they have, regardless of how they're treated.
Since the animals can't talk, they can't say they're not being fed. This money is laundered and pocketed by some officials. It's absolutely impossible to prove this because the shelters are closed. Even those people who just wish to take a pet home are not allowed to enter under some wild pretext like, you don't look trustworthy enough to us, or you're not a Moscow resident.
Amelia was behind the hidden camera. She's been a staunch animal rights campaigner for years and has saved all her pets from the street. She hopes her film will pressurise those in charge to act. But the government denies that the problem is so great. RT was shown this animal shelter in Moscow, where dogs were well looked after and allowed to roam outdoors. The eastern governor of Moscow, Akhmad Sharafetdinov, says he had no idea conditions in other shelters were so different and insists it will be dealt with.
Of course, there's explicit regulation adopted by the Moscow government. It corresponds to different resolutions, and our work is actually based on that regulation.
There's an estimated 30,000 stray dogs on the streets of Moscow, and although a sterilisation project has been introduced, their number is still growing. The reason? Animal activists blame irresponsible breeders. With no way of looking after them, unwanted puppies and kittens are often abandoned and left to fend for themselves on the street. But one place offering help to rescue strays is this veterinary clinic in the city centre.
Meet Rex. He caught an infection while living on the streets of Moscow, which left him very ill and made all his hair and his skin fall out. But after 6 months here, he's making great progress, thanks to a kind-hearted member of the public who brought him in and now pays for his upkeep.
And that person was Irina Blinova. She's been taking sick animals off the streets for over 20 years. This is how she found Rex, his body covered with bleeding sores. Guards were ready to shoot him, but Irina decided she had to intervene. But these acts of kindness aren't cheap. Without any government funding, Irina says she spends nearly $1,000 for one dog a month.
Due to the crisis, it becomes harder. I'm short of money now, and I cannot invest my own money, but I will try to find sponsors and people who can help me. As long as there are homeless dogs, they need help.
And it seems there will indeed be homeless dogs on the streets of Moscow for many years yet, until the government can find and implement an effective solution. Charlotte Lomas-Farley, RT Moscow.